Before the cartoons, before the catchphrases, before the world knew the sound of Boop-Boop-A-Doop, there was a little girl from Harlem, a little girl with a big smile, a quick step, and a gift that could light up a stage. She sang, she danced, she performed acrobatics that amazed audiences. And when the curtain closed, she went back to being a child who loved playing with her dolls. Her name was Baby Esther Lee Jones. In theaters, on stages, across oceans, and even in Europe, where some would call her the Little Black Fairy. She made people smile. She made people cheer. And though history nearly forgot her, her story never disappeared. Because every now and then, a forgotten star finds her way back to the light. This is the story of Baby Esther Lee Jones.
Hello, my darlings. Are you ready for the show? You're such a good audience.
Every legend has a beginning. Before the applause, before the bright lights, before the world knew her name, there was a little girl growing up in Harlem, a neighborhood filled with music, filled with laughter, filled with dreams. The sounds of conversations drifting through open windows, the rhythm of footsteps on busy sidewalks, the melodies floating from churches, theaters, and dance halls. Harlem was alive. And in the middle of it all was Esther. Baby Esther Lee Jones. A child with bright eyes, a joyful spirit, and a smile that could light up a room long before audiences applauded her performances. Esther was simply a little girl learning about the world around her. Like many children,
ready for the show.
She loved to play. She loved to imagine. And she especially loved her dolls.
Thank you.
After the music stopped, after the rehearsals ended, after the crowds went home, Esther could often be found sitting quietly with her dolls, creating stories, giving them names, arranging them in rows. Sometimes as if they were her audience. Perhaps she didn't know it then. But those dolls were getting front row seats to history. Harlem in the 1920s was a place where talent could be discovered. A place where music poured into the streets. Jazz was changing America. New sounds were being created. New dreams were being born. And one little girl was listening. She listened to the music. She watched the performers. She felt the excitement that surrounded the stages and theaters. Something about that world called to her. The lights, the songs, the applause. It all felt magical. But there was something special about Esther. Even at a young age, people noticed her energy, her confidence, her ability to capture attention without even trying. She had a spark. The kind of spark that cannot be taught. The kind of spark that audiences instantly recognized. And while many children dreamed about becoming performers, Esther was already becoming one. She didn't know that one day she would travel across oceans. She didn't know that audiences in other countries would cheer her name. She didn't know that she would become known as the little black fairy. Or that generations later, people would still be discovering her story. For now, she was simply a child. A little girl from Harlem, holding her dolls. Looking toward the lights of a distant theater, wondering what might be waiting beyond the curtain. Every remarkable journey begins with a single step. Every song begins with a single note. And every legend begins as someone's child. Before the stages, before the headlines, before the applause. There was Esther, and her story was only just beginning. Before audiences applauded her songs, before they laughed at her playful expressions, before they fell in love with her personality, Baby Esther learned something else first. She learned how to fly. Not with wings, not with magic, but with courage. Balance, practice, and determination. While many children her age spent their days playing games, Esther was already training. Learning movements that required discipline, learning skills that demanded focus, learning how to trust herself. She tumbled. She balanced. She stretched. She practiced. Again and again. Every performance began long before the audience arrived. Long before the curtain opened. Long before the spotlight found her. The stage may look effortless, but behind every great performer are hours of preparation. Hours that no one sees. Hours that shape a dream into reality. Even as a child, Esther understood something many adults spend a lifetime learning. Talent is a gift, but talent grows strongest when it is nurtured. And Esther was fortunate. She had people who believed in her, people who recognized her abilities, people who encouraged her to develop them. Among them was her father. At a time when many stories overlook the role of fathers, Esther's story reminds us of something important. A father can help shape a dream. A father can help build confidence. A father can help a child see possibilities beyond what they can yet imagine. Esther's father was involved in her life. He supported her journey. He encouraged her growth. And he stood beside a little girl whose future was already beginning to unfold. Sometimes the greatest gift a parent can give a child is belief. Belief when the world has not yet noticed. Belief before the applause. Belief before the success. Someone who says, I see something special in you. And there was something special in Esther. She possessed a rare combination of skill and joy. Every journey begins somewhere. Every story has a starting point. And before baby Esther Lee Jones became known in Harlem, before the applause, before the stages, before the spotlight, there was Chicago. Esther was born in Chicago, Illinois, a city alive with energy, a city filled with movement, a city where countless dreams first took shape. Though history would one day connect her name with Harlem, Chicago was where her story began. Like so many families searching for opportunity during the early 20th century, Esther's path would eventually lead east toward New York City, toward Harlem. A neighborhood bursting with creativity, music on every corner, talent in every direction. A place where artists, musicians, dancers, and dreamers gathered to create something new. Harlem was more than a neighborhood. It was a stage. And somewhere within that vibrant world, a little girl was preparing for her moment. She practiced, she performed, she dreamed. The acrobat was growing, the entertainer was emerging, and soon, another gift would reveal itself. A voice, sweet, playful, expressive. A voice that audiences would remember long after the curtain closed. Boop, 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 boop. Chicago gave Esther her beginning. Harlem gave her a stage. And the world was about to hear her sing. Sing, do, do, do. The acrobat had captured attention, but it was her voice that would change everything. Long before audiences knew her name, Esther Jones was already developing the playful sounds that would one day inspire generations of performers. In Harlem, she found music in everything. From passing trains and bustling sidewalks to the songs of birds perched high above the city streets. To most people, they were simply birds. But to Esther, they were musicians. And perhaps on mornings like these, her imagination sounded something like this.
Toody-doody-doo, toody-doody-doo, boo-boo-boo, lo-dee-dee-doo. Moonlight dancing on the street, soft jazz playing down the lane. Little Esther hears the rhythm, turns it into sweet refrain. Toody-doody-doo, boo-boo-boo, wa-da-da-dee-doo. Brownstone windows softly glowing, Harlem humming through the night. Little dreams begin unfolding, wrapped in music and in light. Whoop, 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 lo-dee-dee-doo, boo-dee-doo-doo-dee-doo. Sing, little bird, fly, little star, carry your melody near and far. Toody-doo, boo-boo-boo. Sing through the night, sing through the day. Let your sweet music show the way. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, ba-ba-ba-do-da-do-da-da-do-da-da-ba-do. Do-do-do-do, ho-de-wa-da-dee-da. Do-do-do-do, ho-de-wa-da-dee-da. Whoop-boop-boop, boot-up-dee-o-doo, skeet-scat, ba-ba-ba-boop-boop-a-doo. Paris heard her gentle laughter, Spain applauded with delight. Across the ocean sailed her music, floating softly through the night. Toody-doody-doo, boop-boop-a-doo, lo-dee-dee-doo, dee-doo. Sing, little bird, fly, little star, carry your melody near and far. Though the years may pass us by, your song still dances through the sky. Doody-doody-doo, boo-boop-boop, lo-dee-dee-doo, boop-boop-boop-a-doo, boo-boo. Doody-doody-doo, boop-boop-a-doo, boo-doo. Doody-doo-dee-doo, doody-doody-doo-dee-doo, boop-boop-boo. Doody-doody-doo, boop-boop-boo-dee-doo.
Harlem never truly slept. As the sun disappeared behind the city skyline, another world came alive. Street lamps glowed, theater marquees flickered, jazz drifted from open doorways, and crowds gathered in search of music, laughter, and unforgettable performances. This was the Harlem Renaissance, a time of extraordinary creativity, a time when artists, musicians, writers, and performers helped redefine American culture. In the midst of this excitement, a young performer was beginning to capture attention. Her name was Baby Esther Lee Jones. Though still a child, She possessed something audiences could not ignore. A natural charm, a playful spirit, and a voice unlike any other. Night after night, she stepped beneath the lights, sometimes singing, sometimes dancing, sometimes making audiences laugh with playful sounds and expressions. What seemed effortless was actually remarkable. Esther understood something many performers spend a lifetime trying to learn: how to connect. She connected with audiences, with musicians, with strangers, with entire rooms full of people. Adults were captivated. Children were delighted. And word began spreading beyond Harlem. The little girl with the unforgettable voice, the entertainer with the infectious smile, the child performer everyone seemed to be talking about. Harlem had embraced Esther. But Harlem would not be the final destination of her journey. Beyond New York, larger stages awaited. New cities, new audiences, and opportunities far greater than anyone could have imagined. Soon, Baby Esther Lee Jones would carry her talents far beyond Harlem. The lights of Harlem had helped launch a star. Now the world was about to discover her. Some performers are remembered for what they did. Others are remembered for how they made people feel. Baby Esther Lee Jones was one of those rare performers who left people smiling long after the curtain closed. Journalists struggled to describe her. Was she a dancer? A singer? A comedian? An actress? The truth was, she was a little bit of everything. Audiences were captivated by her energy, her confidence, her playful personality, and those large expressive eyes that seemed to sparkle with curiosity and joy. One Spanish journalist spent more than an hour talking with Esther. What he discovered surprised him. Behind the performer was a thoughtful and intelligent child. A little girl who loved to learn, a little girl who asked questions, a little girl fascinated by the world around her. While visiting Spain, Esther embraced new experiences with enthusiasm. She attended a bullfight, admired local traditions, and proudly wore a small Spanish shawl like the young girls she observed around her. She was curious, adventurous, and eager to discover new things. Like many children, Esther loved beautiful clothes. Newspaper reports claimed she owned more than 50 dresses, an astonishing number for a young performer. She enjoyed fashion, She enjoyed travel, and she enjoyed the excitement of being on stage. Yet, despite her growing fame, those who met her often described her as warm and approachable, full of affection, full of sympathy, full of life. Wherever she traveled, Paris, London, Berlin, Madrid, people responded to something that could not be taught. Charm, not manufactured, not rehearsed, genuine. She was more than an entertainer. She was a source of joy, a bright light in every room she entered. A child whose laughter crossed languages and borders. Some called her talented, some called her remarkable, and others affectionately described her as the little black fairy. A nickname that captured the wonder audiences felt whenever she appeared. Doody-doody-doo, boo-boo-boo, lo-dee-dee-doo, boo-boo-boo. But Baby Esther's journey was only beginning. Beyond America, an entire continent awaited. New stages, new audiences, and adventures that would take her farther than most children could ever imagine. Soon, Baby Esther Lee Jones would cross the Atlantic Ocean, and Europe would fall in love with her. Many children dream of seeing the world. Esther was one of the few who actually did. And she carried her music with her wherever she went. In 1929, a remarkable journey began. Baby Esther Lee Jones was still just a child. Yet she was about to travel farther than most adults of her time could ever imagine. Leaving America behind, Esther boarded a ship bound for Europe. Accompanied by her mother and her manager, she set sail toward a future filled with opportunity, adventure, and discovery. For many children, the world existed only in books and imagination. For Esther, the world was becoming real. New cities, new languages, new audiences, new dreams. By the age of 9, Baby Esther was already attracting attention beyond American shores. Newspaper reports announced her arrival with excitement. Audiences were eager to see the talented child performer from America. Of all the cities she visited, one quickly captured her heart: Paris. The City of Light welcomed Esther with enthusiasm. Its grand theaters, elegant boulevards, and vibrant cultural life offered experiences unlike anything she had known before. When asked about her travels, Esther spoke warmly of Paris and the people she met there. The admiration was mutual. Paris adored Baby Esther. Night after night, Audiences applauded her performances.
Step right up, gather round. Hear the sweetest little sound. Little Esther takes the floor. Then she gives the crowd some more. Boo 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 ba da 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 doo 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 ba doo boo ba doo ba doo ba doo boop boo ba doo boop 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 bop bop skeet scat boop boo a doo boo did da doo da doo doo dee doo. Paris claps and London smiles, Berlin cheers for miles and miles. Esther grins beneath the light, singing every day and night. Boot up dee doo 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 roop whoop a whoop shooby doo 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 dee doo ho doo wa da dee da doo doo dee doo ho doo wa da dee da boo dee dee doo lo da dee doo roop whoop a whoop skeet scat ba ba boo ba doo doo boo boo ba doo boo 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 ba doo ba doo dee doo. Da doo ba doo ba da ba da ba da doo ba doo 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 ba doo ba doo 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 ba doo ba doo ba doo ba doo ba doo doo. Little Esther takes a bow. Hear her happy laughter now. Though the years may drift away, her joyful voice is here today. Boo 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 wa da da lo dee dee doo boo boo ba doo dee doo.
Her dancing, her singing, her playful personality, and the joyful energy she carried onto every stage. Journalists throughout Europe praised the young entertainer. They described her as talented, charming, intelligent, and unforgettable. From city to city, Esther's reputation continued to grow. London, Berlin, Madrid, and beyond. The little girl from Chicago, raised in Harlem, was becoming an international star. Yet, despite the applause and attention, Esther remained what she had always been. A curious child, eager to learn, eager to explore, eager to experience everything the world had to offer. Wherever she traveled, she connected with people across cultures, across languages, across borders. Her smile needed no translation. Europe had fallen in love with Baby Esther Lee Jones. But an even more extraordinary moment was waiting just ahead. Soon, a little girl from Harlem would find herself standing before kings and queens.
They said I was too little, too different, too loud, too black. But I just smiled late.
I don't care what they say, because God made me. Ba-doop-bop-shoo-ah, hey, hey, ba-da-boop-boop-boop, baby Esther in the room, ba-ba-bop, ooh, boop-boop-a-doop, boop-boop-a-doop, boop-boop. They talked about me, stole from me, laughed about my dreams, but I kept hearing melodies inside of me. Tiny hands on piano keys, playing songs the world can't see. Every note just made me strong. Now I sing my own victory song. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words can't hurt me. I keep swinging, keep singing, being who God made me to be. Boop-ba-doop, I still shine, got that Harlem rhythm deep inside. Little girl, big dreams, watch me fly. Baby Esther, touching the sky. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-doo-da-doo-ba, can't stop me now. Ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba, ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-ba, can't stop me now. Some performers dream of applause. Some dream of fame. And some dream of seeing the world. But very few children ever perform before kings and queens. By 1929, Baby Esther Lee Jones had become one of the most talked about young entertainers in Europe. Audiences applauded her. Critics praised her. Newspapers celebrated her. Wherever she appeared, people wanted to see the remarkable child from America. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo, boo-boo-boo-boo, boo-dee-dee-doo. Esther was no ordinary child performer. She danced, she sang, she performed acrobatics. She made audiences laugh, and she possessed a confidence that seemed far beyond her years. Journalists described her as charming, intelligent, graceful, and unforgettable. One Spanish journalist spent more than an hour speaking with Esther. He was captivated by her personality, her warmth, her curiosity, her expressive eyes, and her natural ability to connect with people. During her visit to Spain, Esther embraced the culture around her. She proudly wore a traditional Spanish shawl, visited local attractions, and spoke enthusiastically about the country she had come to admire. Then came the moment few could have imagined. A little girl born in Chicago, raised in Harlem, standing before royalty. At the Teatro de la Exposición in Spain, a special gala was held in honor of the President of Portugal. Members of the Spanish royal family were present, including King Alfonso XIII, Queen Victoria Eugenie, and distinguished guests from across Europe. Among all the performers appearing that evening, Baby Esther Lee Jones was one of the featured attractions. The audience watched, the orchestra played, and Esther did what she had done since childhood. She stepped into the spotlight. She danced, she smiled, she entertained, and once again, she won the hearts of everyone in the room. When the performance ended, the applause echoed throughout the theater. The king and queen were impressed. So impressed that they later received Esther personally, alongside her mother and manager. Baby Esther Lee Jones was invited to meet the king and queen of Spain. The royal family congratulated her, praised her talent, and acknowledged the extraordinary young performer who had traveled thousands of miles from home. Imagine that moment. A young black girl from America, standing before European royalty. Not as a servant, not as a curiosity, but as an artist, a star, a champion. Doody-doody-doo, doody-doody-doo. Doody-doody-doo-doody-doo. The Charleston had carried her across oceans. Her voice had crossed language barriers. Her talent had crossed borders. And now, even kings and queens knew her name. Boop-boop-boop-boop, doody-doody-doo, doody-doody-doo. Doody-doody-doo, boo-boo-boo, lo-dee-dee-doo, dee-do. History remembers many stars. Some shine brightly for a season. Some become legends, and some wait patiently to be rediscovered before the headlines faded, before the photographs grew old, before the world moved on. She left people smiling. Yet as the years passed, the spotlight slowly moved on. The tours ended. The theaters grew quiet. The newspaper headlines became fewer. But Baby Esther's story was not over. In July of 1934, Baby Esther Lee Jones was 16 years old. She had already accomplished more than most performers twice her age. She had toured internationally, performed before royalty, and earned praise from audiences across the world. But on one summer evening, she took the stage once more. In Philadelphia, a midnight benefit was held in support of the NAACT, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The event brought together talented black entertainers in a celebration of artistry, excellence, and community. Among them was Baby Esther Lee Jones, no longer the tiny child who had amazed audiences with the Charleston, but a young woman, experienced, professional, accomplished. That evening she performed an acrobatic dance number. Reviewers praised her charm, her grace, her professionalism, and the years of experience she carried with her from stages across America and Europe. The applause echoed through the theater, a familiar sound, one she had heard since childhood. None of those in attendance could have known that this would become one of the last documented public appearances of Baby Esther Lee Jones. There was no farewell announcement, no final headline, no grand goodbye. Just one more performance, one more audience, one more night beneath the spotlight. And then, history grows quiet. What time could not take. Much of Baby Esther's story has been lost. Films disappeared. Recordings vanished. Performances faded into memory. My name is Dior Amoria, and this story began with a simple question. Who is Baby Esther Lee Jones? What I discovered was more than history. I discovered a gifted child, a world traveler, a performer, a pioneer, and a young woman whose story deserved to be told. This documentary is dedicated to Baby Esther Lee Jones and to every forgotten artist whose light still shines through history. Thank you, Baby Esther. The world remembers now. A movie-toned short featuring Esther is believed lost. Other footage has never been recovered. Today, we may never know exactly what it felt like to sit in a theater and watch Baby Esther perform. But not everything was lost. The photographs remain. The newspaper articles remain. The stories remain. And her accomplishments remain. Cho, the legacy. A little girl born in Chicago, raised in Harlem, crossed an ocean, performed before royalty, entertained audiences around the world, and helped leave her mark on entertainment history. The world may have lost track of Baby Esther Lee Jones, but Baby Esther Lee Jones never stopped being extraordinary. She was extraordinary when she first stepped onto a stage. Extraordinary when she crossed an ocean. Extraordinary when she stood before royalty. And extraordinary on that final documented night in Philadelphia. History did not make her remarkable. She already was. Our job is simply to remember. Speak her name. When history speaks of jazz, speak her name. When history speaks of vaudeville, speak her name. When history speaks of child stars, speak her name. When history speaks of pioneers, speak her name. When history speaks of talent, speak her name. When history speaks of courage, speak her name. Baby Esther Lee Jones. Not forgotten, not erased, not lost, remembered, celebrated, honored, forever. Dedicated to the memory of Baby Esther Lee Jones. Step right up, gather round, hear the sweetest little sound. I'm little Esther and I take the floor. Then I give the crowd some more. Boo boo boo, wa-da-da, doo-doo-doo-doo, wa-da-da, wa-da-da, boop-boop-a-doop, boo-boo-boo-boo-boo. Smiles, Berlin cheers for miles and miles. I grin beneath the light, singing every day and night. Oh, da dee oh doo 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 doo, whoop whoop a whoop, shoo-be dee doo. Step right up, step right up, gather round, hear the sweetest little sound. I'm step right up, gather round, hear the sweetest little sound. Step, step right up, gather round, hear the sweetest little sound. I'm little Esther and I take the floor. Then I give the crowd some more. Boo boo boo, wa-da-da, doo doo doo, wa-da-da, doo doo doo, wa-da-da, boop boop a doo, boop 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 ba doo, boop boop a doo, boop boop a doo, boop boop boop, skeet scat, boop boop a doo, boop dee doo doo, la dee dee doo dee doo. London smiles, Berlin cheers for miles and miles. I grin beneath the light, singing every day and night. Boop-Boop-A-Doop, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boop-boop-A-Doop, shooby-doo, big scat. Do-do-dee-doo, ho-dee-wa-da-dee-da, do-do-dee-doo, ho-dee-wa-da-dee-da, do-dee-doo-doo, la-dee-dee-doo, la-dee-dee-doo, boop-boop-A-Doop, ski-scat. Paris claps and London smiles, Berlin cheers for miles and miles. I grin beneath the light, singing every day and night. Boop-Boop-A-Doop, do-do-doo-doo-doo-doo, boop-boop-A-Doop, shoo-be-doo, do-do-doo, do-do-dee-doo, ho-dee-wa-da-dee-da, do-do-dee-doo, ho-dee-wa-da-dee-da, do-dee-doo-doo, la-dee-dee-doo, la-dee-dee-doo, boop-boop-A-Doop, ski-scat, boop-boop-A-Doop, boop-boop-A-Doop, ski-scat, boop-boop-A-Doop, do-do-doo-doo. I take a bow, hear my happy laughter now. Though the years may drift away, my joyful voice is here today.
Step, step, that, 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 step, that, step, boop, 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 step, that, 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 down, 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 down. Step right up, gather round, hear the sweetest little sound. I'm little Esther and I take the floor, then I give the crowd some more. Boop, 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 wa-da-da, do, 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 wa-da-da, do, 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 wa-da-da-da-da. Boop, boop-a-doop, boop, 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 skeet, scat. Boop, 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 a-doop. Boop, did-do-do, la-di-da-da-doo, lo, did-do-do, did-do. Boop, did-do-do, lo-di-di-do, lo, did-do-do. Yeah, Paris claps and London smiles, Berlin cheers for miles and miles. I grin beneath the light, singing every day and night. Boop-Boop-A-Doop,